Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Friendlies. It has been a crazy couple of weeks, and this show has been kind of on pause during our Olympics coverage, but I am so happy to be back with our regularly scheduled Thursday interviews. Today, we have Esme Morgan, who just signed with the Washington Spirit after playing for Man City. Esme is a defender for the Lionesses, and she seriously is just the sweetest person I have ever met. As soon as we started chatting, I was just so happy to be spending time with her again. I can't wait for you all to hear about her approach to the game, the reasons for her move to the NWSL, and how she's dealing with the real language barrier between England and the US, the laundry situation. You're going to hear all about it in a second. If you're new here, Good Vibes, our Tuesday podcast, has also been on pause during the Olympics, but I am thrilled to tell you that we are back on Tuesday, and we have so many fun things planned. Good Vibes is a weekly show co-hosted by Becky Sauerbrunn and Lynn Williams, and it covers lots of NWSL, U.S. Women's National Team, and even the Women's Super League in England and the Champions League, which are starting up again shortly. I am heading to New York next week to see some of the Gotham girlies and hopefully get some additional content for the women's game. There is a big game next weekend between Gotham and the Portland Thorns, so you know I want to be there to support my two friends, Becky and Lynn. We got so many wonderful emails over the last few weeks. Our Olympics coverage was really, really fun. It was so incredible to have so many different co-hosts come on the episodes and live reaction shows to share their insights with us. We had co-hosts from all over: Georgia Stanway, Christy Mewis, Midge Purse, Brandy Chastain, Viv Miedema, Becky Sauerbrunn, Raj. They all brought something unique and different to their episodes, and I learned so much from working with them. Your responses have been so wonderful to read as well, and I am seriously so appreciative to those of you who take the time to comment or to write in with stories, suggestions, and of course, dog pics. So here's one email that we just got from Brigitte. She said, "Hi, Sam. I have kind of a silly question. If you had to build an 11-person team by cloning just one current U.S. Women's National Team player, who would you choose? Love what you all are doing over at the Women's Game and would love for you to do an event in Atlanta. Big love and support, Brigitte S." Brigitte, thank you so much for the email. Funnily enough, I think you'll find the answer you're looking for on our recent Team of the Tournament video on YouTube. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen it yet. It reveals if I could only have one U.S. Women's National Team player all over the field, who it would be. And if anybody else out there wants to send me an email, just write to womensgamemib@menandblazers.com. All right, everybody, time for the show. This is new defender for the Washington Spirit. Here is Esme Morgan. Esme Morgan is a defender for the Lionesses who has just come to America to play for the Washington Spirit in the NWSL. Esme represented Manchester City for 9 years, first with the youth teams and then with the senior team, winning an FA Cup title with me in 2020. She was also a member of England's 2023 World Cup team who made it all the way to the final. Esme was one of my very favorite teammates at Man City. She is so sweet. Wait till you hear her. She works so hard, and I am so excited that all of us in America will get to see her play all the time now in the NWSL. Esme, I am so excited you're here. Thank you for joining me on the Women's Game.
Thanks so much for having me. Honestly, I feel a bit emotional after that introduction.
Oh my gosh, Esme, I just feel like everybody's going to fall in love with you and your accent and the way you talk and how sweet you are.
Do you know, my accent has done me some favours since I've been here. I feel like people are so patient with me when I start talking.
Me and Pat, my husband Pat, still sometimes will go, "Oh, Sam," because that's like how we remember you talking to me, just the sweetest English accent ever.
Oh, that's so funny. Or it became "Oh, scram" by the end of it.
That was my first question for you, Esme, was you, me, and Rose Lavelle have special nicknames for each other, and I wanted you to tell everybody what they are and like where they came from.
Well, I call you Scram and I call Rose Scrows. And I think it came from Abby Dalkemper because she
Scrabbers.
was from Scrabbers, because she was saying she was so embarrassed about her nickname. And I was like, well, what is it? And she was like, oh, my mum calls me Scrabbers. And we were like, well, if you're embarrassed, we could all have Skur at the start of our name. So Then it just caught on.
So then you became Scresme, Abby was Scrabbers, I'm Scram, and Rose is Scrows, and it works great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, Scresme. Oh my gosh, okay, that was really fun to reminisce when you, me, Rose, and Abby all played at Man City together. That's how we came up with those nicknames.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about, you've just arrived in America. And I know that when Rose and I and Abby moved to Manchester, we had a couple of things that we couldn't really get used to about living in a different country. One of them was the laundry situation. If anybody remembers, Rose and I just couldn't really like understand like why the washing machine and the dryer are the same machine because your clothes are always damp. It's a whole thing about the laundry in England. But Esme, I want to know, what has DC been like? Have you found your own laundry situation that you're like, what's up with this?
Yeah, no, I can really relate to that because the first night I got here, I got shown round by one of the staff members called Katia. She's so lovely. And she gave me a whistle-stop tour of all the fancy things in my apartment, one of them being the washing machine. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen one like that before. Because first of all, you don't put your washing in the side of the machine, you put it in the top.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
like drop it in, and then the dryer's above. And as you say, usually we have a combined washer dryer, which doesn't work very well, honestly. So
I know.
This has been a much better situation.
So are you just walking around in dry clothes now for the first time in your life?
I mean, I did tend to used to let them dry before I wore them before, but now they just dry so quick. Like I don't have to worry if I'm getting to the afternoon and I think, gosh, I need to wear that top this evening. Not a problem. Straight in the washer and dryer. It's just perfect. But I did have to get one of the girls to come and give me a tutorial because I did not have a clue how to use it.
Yeah, well, that is definitely something that is not, like, they say there's no language barrier, but there definitely is a laundry barrier. I swear that was, like, the most difficult adjustment. But how has it been adjusting to DC other than that? Is it kind of what you expected?
I didn't really know what I expected, to be honest, but I absolutely love it. So if I did have any expectations, then it's for sure exceeded them. I absolutely love the area. Just the people are so friendly. Everyone is so happy and smiley and lovely. I love the weather. I've actually only been into DC once so far into the city. I went yesterday and did a little bit of sightseeing. So I really enjoyed that, sort of seeing the iconic sites that I've only ever been aware of in movies and things. So that was really fun. But I absolutely love the area where I'm living, and all the girls have just made me feel so welcome. I feel part of the family already. So it's just been so nice and really easy to settle in, which I was kind of preparing myself to feel a bit uncomfortable, I suppose, for a little while, but I haven't felt like that at all. I just feel so at home already.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. I'm so glad that the girls are taking good care of you. I know that it's a big transition. You have been in Manchester for 9 years playing for Man City, which sounds crazy, Esme. When I saw that on your Instagram post, I was like, what do you mean 9 years? You're only 23. So I do want to hear a little bit about eventually leaving Manchester. But first, what are some things that you know that you're going to be taking with you, that you learned during your time at Man City that you can already tell, okay, I'm going to really like value that and take that with me in the next steps of my career?
I think a lot of it is sort of the competitiveness and always challenging for titles, because I know Michelle Kang has the ambition of the Spirit being the best club in the world, obviously along with her other teams. I probably shouldn't say that, I might get her in trouble. But we want to win every single year, the Shield and the Championship. And at City we had those same ambitions, although unfortunately I never managed to do it. But I'm hoping that coming to the Spirit, the girls have had an amazing start to the season already, so I really hope we can push this last little bit and hopefully win something. So I think that, but also the style of play that Jonah wants to implement has a lot of the same principles that you know so well from being at City, with especially the in possession phase, and the patience of building from the back and having sort of a bit of positional sense and structure. With a bit more, I would say there's a bit more fluidity and creativity allowed under Jonah's system than at City, but a lot of the principles are the same. So I feel like that's given me such a good foundation to be able to come here and slot straight into the style of play.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it sounds like you built such an incredible foundation, was the word I was thinking, from your time at Man City, that you probably could go and play anywhere because you have such an incredible understanding of the game. I do want to hear more specifically, I know Man City had such a great season last year. You came in second in the league. What were some of those factors for you as an individual player? You're so young. Why did you decide to leave Manchester and come to America?
I think the biggest thing for me is not wanting to regret at the end of my career, sort of wasting years. And not to say that last year at City was a waste, because I learned so much and I really, really enjoyed it because we had such an amazing group of girls. But I wasn't playing as much as I'd liked, and I kind of felt like I was plateauing as a player, and I'm not at the point where I'm satisfied with my ability. And so I feel like I've still got so much growth to do. And I feel like the biggest growth you get is when you're challenged weekly, playing consistently against really tough opposition. And so I wanted to seek out a new challenge where I felt like I could do that and maybe be seen differently by coaches and stuff, to be able to pick out extra things in my game. And so it really just felt like the perfect time to move on and find something new. And then it became then the perfect opportunity to come here under one of the world's best coaches and one of the world's best setups. Honestly, the staff group is just incredible here. On my first day, when I was getting walked around meeting everyone, my head was like exploding with all the names of people. I was like, after I'd meet someone, I'd be like, Katia, operations, Azita, physio, and like replaying them in my head, and got to the evening and they'd all gone boom, straight out again. But yeah, the setup that we've got is so great, and I feel like it is the perfect place for me to do what I want, which is to improve more as a player and reach my potential.
Yeah, I know. I feel similarly about my decision when I came to Manchester. I was at the same club team for a long time. I played for the same coach for a long time. And I think there were obviously other factors, like I came during COVID, and that was a big factor in my decision. But I think there does come a time in your career where you have to decide if you're maximizing your potential where you are, and if you're like, have you gotten all of the learning opportunities that you want to get? And it doesn't mean you need to go overseas, but I think for some players, that's an option that feels like it will round out their game and challenge them in a new way. That's really exciting. But I want to know, was it scary to make that decision? Was there anything that like held you back? Did you feel nervous about it, or did you feel confident in it?
No, I felt really confident in it because I'd felt for quite some time that a change was needed. And then I just felt that this opportunity was really perfect. And so I just had so much excitement coming into it. I think the only time I felt nervous was when I was coming into the training ground for the first time, and I was thinking, I've not got any friends.
I know, it must have felt like the first day of school, kind of.
That's it, because at City for so long, I'd always known people there and felt so comfortable, and it was always new people coming in who I'd get to know and become friends with. Whereas here, I was like, I'm the new one and nobody knows me. I thought, what if they think I'm like weird or something with my accent and things like that? I thought maybe they wouldn't understand things I was saying. And there have, to be fair, been a few language barrier moments, but no, everyone just embraced me straight away. And it really helped because we had a couple of away trips for the Summer Cup. So I went on those and I was peppering my poor roommates with questions, but we played board games and stuff after dinner, and that really helped just kind of settle in and have a laugh with the team. And I literally felt a part of it and at home straight away. So it was so nice.
Oh, that is so nice. I'm like so happy to hear that. You had mentioned before that the new head coach of the Spirit, Jonathan Heraldes, who you've been calling Jonah. So I'm going to start calling him Jonah from here on out. I've been saying his name as Spanish as I can for months. He was the coach of Barcelona before he just joined the Spirit. And so my question is, when you started considering coming to the Spirit, what were your impressions of Jonah? And was there anything that made you feel like you really wanted to play for him?
Yeah, I think obviously his reputation as one of the best coaches in the world was already there. And then when it got announced that he was coming to the Spirit, I thought, wow, how interesting. Because you kind of look at Barca and think, he could just probably win the Champions League every year by staying there. But I found it incredible that he wanted to challenge himself and experience something new. So that was before there were any conversations about joining. I was just, as a women's football fan, so intrigued and thought it was really interesting. And then when the Spirit kind of came on the radar as being interested in me and I had some conversations with him, I was so captivated because he just has this incredibly infectious energy and passion for football. And just listening to him talk, you can just tell how much he loves the game, how much he loves going to training every day and trying to improve people. And I was just sat there and I could feel myself getting all twitchy because I was like, I just want to go and play now. And like, he just made me want to get out on the pitch and train. And so I really felt like I wanted to work with him. I feel like he's someone who can really improve me and push the team to a great place. And from what I've experienced so far in the sessions, it's confirmed all of those hopes that I had. He pushes the intensity constantly within the sessions. Everything's a competition and it's really infectious. Everyone gets so competitive. You'll know Andy Sullivan, and she's so competitive, but it brings out that side of everyone, and it's just so much fun to be a part of, and I really look forward to going in every day.
Oh my gosh, that's so incredible. Yeah, I love Andy Sullivan. I'm curious, when you were kind of thinking about the Spirit, thinking about Jonah, did you reach out to any of your teammates at Barcelona, your England teammates like Lucy Bronze or Kira Walsh, who are also our former teammates at Man City? Did they tell you anything about him?
Yeah, well, I'd had conversations with them both prior to that, like earlier in the season, not knowing what was going to come in the future.
Okay.
So that was cool. But then once I did know that it was a potential option, I then asked some more deliberate questions on camp. Yeah. And funnily enough, they said Jonah had been asking about me. So we were both doing research on either end.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Trying to find out all the secrets about one another. But they were so complimentary. Like Kira especially, this wasn't something she said, but just observationally, she was one of the best players in the world when she was at City, and then coming into camps with her, she found another level. She was even better since she'd gone to Barca, and I thought, wow, if he's managed to improve Kira, I've got a lot more growth needed in my game than she does. So I was like, yeah, sign me up for that.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, I want to talk a little bit about that. Like, if anybody who's listening doesn't know that much about you yet, you're so young, you've been playing in England, now you're in America, I want to talk a little bit about your game. Like, you're such a versatile player. You can play outside back, but you can also play center back or even defensive midfield. And what impressed me the most about playing with you at Man City was how much distance you could cover, what seemed to be effortlessly. Whenever we would have to do like our fitness, high speed running, you would have to do so much to like get your distances because your numbers in a game were just so high. And so I think that that's one of the things that's
giving me PTSD. I remember everyone else had to do like 4 runs and I'd be there doing like 12.
16. I know, it was absurd, but it's because you just cover ground naturally. And I actually think that's one of the things that always made me think Esme would be so good in the NWSL. So I'm curious if you can tell yet from training or what you've seen, do you think that that trait of yours will really come into play and affect your play in the league here?
Yeah, I think so, because I think although now a lot more teams are transitioning to a more possession-based style, I do think there's still such an element of directness on the counter-attack and so many balls played into the space. There's so many quick attackers in the league who just sort of get the ball pinged in behind to them and they're trying to get on the end of it. So I definitely think that my speed and athleticism is going to come in handy when I'm trying to stop those speedsters.
What do you see that physical aspect one of your most valuable traits, or do you think there are other parts of your game that you're like really proud of?
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of them. I've always been quite lucky to be naturally fit and quick, so it's not something I necessarily have to work on, but I definitely don't take it for granted because I know that it's a great trait to have. But I'd say that and like my ability on the ball, I always say that and my athleticism are my 2 greatest strengths, really.
That makes a lot of sense, and I agree with everything you're saying. You're very gifted on the ball, and you are so fit and so fast, and it's fun to be on your team, but I can't imagine it would be very fun to defend you. When you were thinking about leaving Manchester and you could have gone anywhere, why did you choose the NWSL in America?
It's such a competitive league. I've loved watching it because I've been following really intently since the start of the season, since I knew I was likely going to be coming here. And I just love that no team is afraid of losing, really, because there's no consequences, no relegation. So everyone just goes for the win. And so you never see teams sort of sitting in, at
Playing
City
it safe.
sometimes we'd play against one of the lower teams and they'd put 5 at the back, 4 in front, and 1 just kind of running around hoping for the best. Like, you never see that in the NWSL, and I just think it makes every game so exciting, and I love how unpredictable it is. You never know going into a game who's going to win, and I absolutely love that about it. So I thought it was such a competitive league, and I also felt like I'll really get challenged in the elements of my game that I want to improve. There's so many great attackers who are really direct and physical and strong, and I think I'm going to have to really up the aggressiveness of my defending in order to make sure I keep them away from our goal.
Well, your first official game with the Spirit in regular NWSL league play will be next weekend against Kansas City, who are also having a really incredible season. But before that, you guys actually have a friendly game against Arsenal this weekend, this Sunday. How do you feel about facing one of your very familiar foes with this new team? Have your coaches and teammates been pumping you for information about Arsenal?
Not yet. I feel like that'll come this week, but it's just so ironic, isn't it? I've come halfway around the world and my first opposition is a team I've played countless times before. It's so funny.
So funny. I know. Well, I'm excited to watch. There are some WSL teams here in America over the next couple of weeks, and I am excited to see those matchups. Something else that will actually be different for you, though, Esme, is playoffs. The WSL doesn't have playoffs, but the Spirit are currently in 3rd place, so playoffs look likely. I'll knock on wood. How are you going to approach this
I was crossing my
structure?
fingers, by the way, guys, for the listeners who can't see.
Thank you.
I just went like this and I was like, oh, I realised they can't see me doing that.
Well, if you can't see Esme doing that because you're just listening, this is also available on YouTube and you can see cute Esme crossing her fingers. But talk to me a little bit about what you're thinking about playoffs in this new format.
Yeah, sorry, Sam. Completely went off track there.
Oh my God, it's fun. This is a loose show.
Perfect. I'm so excited / weirded out because at home in England, winning the league is the pinnacle. You graft all season, every weekend, can't afford to slip up because you're hoping to win the league. And here you could do all that and you're not really considered the winners, are you? You win the Shield, yay, that's fun for a week, and then no one cares anymore.
You could come in 8th and then win the championship.
Exactly. So it kind of seems unjust a little bit. But that's just how it works. And I do think it's really exciting that, say you come so close, at City last year, we would have loved to have a playoff because we came so close to winning the league, but we weren't quite there. So then you get a second shot at going to win it all.
You get one more chance. It's tournament football.
How often does it I haven't looked at the history of this, but is it quite rare, would you say, for a team to win both?
Not if you're the North Carolina Courage in 2018
I know you did
2019.
that once. Oh, you did it twice?
I think twice, yeah.
No way. Wow, okay.
But I think somebody has done it since. I feel like we should check, but Portland has maybe done it too.
Okay, so it's not uncommon.
Well, I'd say it's pretty special.
Only if you've got Sam Mewis on your team, you can do it.
That was a really good question, though, Esme. We will definitely fact check that and report about it. Okay, I do want to shift gears really quickly and talk a little bit about your time with the English national team. Again, you're still so early on in your career, but you're 23 years old. You are already a part of the 2023 World Cup team last summer. You didn't make an appearance in the tournament, but I imagine it was still a really cool experience for you to go to your first major tournament all the way in Australia and New Zealand and be part of the squad that made it to the final. So I want to know what that was like for you. You're a young player at this tournament and your team has such success, but then you lose the final, so it must have been also heartbreaking. And what did you learn from dealing with such highs and lows at once?
Yeah, the ending was so sad, but I just thoroughly in love the journey throughout because I think I went into the tournament, and Serena's a really good communicator. She makes your role completely clear before everything. So I knew I was going into the tournament as a backup, ready to step in if something went wrong. Thankfully it didn't, fitness wise. And so I was able to just really soak everything in, and I really appreciated that for my first major tournament, just being able to take in the atmospheres at the games and really enjoy the occasions without the having to focus so much on preparing so well for every game. I was able to kind of relax and enjoy it a bit more, and I feel like that served me well for hopefully future tournaments that I'm going to be a part of and hopefully have a bigger role in on the pitch, because I've kind of felt that, and I know what to expect from sort of the pressure and the intensity of the tournament and also the atmospheres that you play in. But I've got so many special memories. I was talking about it today actually, because we bumped into Lacey, our new signing, in the car park, and I was saying she'd scored against us at the World Cup, and the noise when she scored that goal was incredible. We were in maybe a 70,000 seater stadium, and I think 65,000 of them were Colombian. And that national anthem is the best anthem I've ever heard in my whole life. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it, because it was just, the noise was amazing. But I've just got so many little special moments like that where if I was playing, I probably wouldn't have appreciated it as much. Yeah. So I'm glad I had that experience, and it was special to be so close to the girls going so deep into the tournament. I feel like I took a lot from it.
Oh, that's amazing. And you're referencing Lacey Santos of the Colombian national team, who's now your new teammate at the Washington Spirit. Back to England, though, you've had such incredible opportunities to play, kind of what you were just alluding to with England legends, Steph Houghton, Jill Scott, Lucy Bronze, and even more players. What have players like that, leaders of the team, taught you about what it means to represent England on the biggest stage?
I think it's just every day trying to push and be better every single day. Steph for me is the ultimate professional. To her last day as a professional before she retired, she was in -1 optional upper body club. There was a small group of us who were there every match day -1, and Steph was one of them. And you think, like, she didn't need to be. She was literally retiring, but she was there. And I just think that ultimate dedication to being the very best she can be really inspired me. And then you look to people like Lucy, who just has such a thirst for winning, a thirst for perfection. She challenges herself every few years. She was telling me she's never extended her contract at a club. She's always moved on to a new place. And she said sometimes she goes places that don't necessarily suit what people would perceive to be her style, but it's made her such a well-rounded player. And that really resonated with me when I was thinking of coming here, because I was like, well, maybe it is slightly less possession-based and patient than what I'm used to, but it's going to challenge me and make me a better player in the long term. And yeah, Lucy having that mindset, given everything she's already achieved, is just something that I really take a lot from learning from her. So yeah, I feel so lucky to have played with all of the players that I have.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Having teammates that you look up to like that is really one of the most special parts, I think, about playing for your national team, because you look up to them when you're like a youth player, and then you get this opportunity to play with them, and they become a part of your life, and you have these friendships with them, and it extends beyond your playing days as well. I know that now. So I think that's really special. Your next big event for England will be the Euros next summer, and you guys are defending European champions. So do you think there's kind of an added pressure to continue building on the success of the Lionesses and what you guys did in 2022?
I think there's definitely a constant expectation now of the team off the back of the Euros. Going into the World Cup, we were seen as one of the favourites, despite there being so many incredibly strong teams from around the world. And then going into the Nations League and trying to qualify for the Olympics, I think the outside expectation was that it was a given that we were going to get there. And I think definitely there's an assumption that we're going to at least get to the final of everything now, because I think football fans, I'm one of them, you get spoiled. And now it'd be a disappointment for me as a City fan if we didn't win 5 in a row of the Premier League. Like, that's just ridiculous. So I think there's an expectation from a lot of people probably that it's a given that we'll maybe win the next Euros, although Spain have probably taken a bit of the pressure off us with their success. But I do think we'll be expected to go deep, and we know that people probably look at us and think, oh, we want to be England and everything. But I think it's exciting, and I don't think it's going to change the way we approach it. We're just desperate to go, and it's going to be a big change in the group from the group that won the Euros. So it's people with a fresh desire, and we've kind of got to feed off the experience of those who've done it before and hopefully put that into a new campaign, searching for success.
Yeah, well, so this is my last serious question for you. You've talked through this interview about you've made this change to go to America to broaden your game, to try to continue improving. So what are your goals for yourself on the national team between now and next summer? You're still a young player. You're establishing yourself as a really core and important member of the team. What role are you looking to have for the Lionesses in the future?
I think through being in the NWSL and hopefully playing consistently, I just want to prove and put on display week in, week out the level that I'm at. And I know that if I'm performing well, then I'm going to put myself in a better position to compete for minutes at the national team, which up until now, when I've not really been playing so much at club level, isn't going to happen. I know that I'm a good member of the squad who's able to contribute if called upon, but you're never really going to be trusted to go into a starting role when you've not been playing consistently at clubs. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to kind of push on and be a bit more in the conversation of being able to start. But I know that I've got a lot to work on still, and the competition is so high for places. We've got so many incredible players across the entire team. So I know that I'll have to be at my absolute best every week to put in a claim for a place.
Esme, you have the best attitude, and I am going to be cheering for you so hard. I do have a couple of fun, lighthearted questions for you before we let you go. Do you have a favorite American fast food yet?
No, I've not really been. I'm into all the milkshakes. There's a place, I won't say where it is because I'll give away where I live, but there's a place very close by that does like ice cream milkshakes, and they have so many flavours. And it's really bad because it's so accessible because it's really close to where I live. So I've been treating myself with that. But I've actually not been to any of the fast food places. What would you recommend?
I don't know what's really in your area, but I'm a big Five Guys gal.
Oh, yeah, there is one of those nearby.
Yeah. Five Guys is good. I think you'll like it. But when you go to the West Coast, you should get In-N-Out.
Okay, yeah, a few of the girls have spoken about In-N-Out.
The girls will take you. Okay, what about coffee? What's been your go-to coffee order?
Well, Scram, I'm not really a coffee drinker.
Oh my God, I think I forgot that about you. What would you get when we would go to coffee?
I feel like I'd get maybe a hot chocolate or a chai latte.
You would get a hot chocolate. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Okay, so your go-to coffee order is a hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Who was your soccer idol growing up?
It was pretty much anyone who played for Man City men's, because I wasn't aware they didn't have a women's team who was in the professional circles until later. So a guy called Sean Wright Phillips, his brother Bradley played for New York Red Bulls, so I don't know if it's a name people would recognise maybe in America, but yeah, him. And then later Carlos Tevez, David Silva. I loved all of those players.
Love that. Okay, who's your new favourite teammate on the Spirit?
Oh gosh, I can't pick a favourite. That's crazy.
Can you give us a couple of the girls that have been especially welcoming?
Yeah, especially so. There's a girl called Lena. She lives along my corridor, so she was the one who came and gave me a tutorial for the washing machine. She's been helping me build stuff at my apartment as well. I built like a little table and chairs for my balcony, and she's hilarious. We get along really well. And then my two roomies for the trips have been Paige Matea and Kate Wiesner, and so we all get along really well. I think they were kind of like a trio before, so I've kind of tagged along to form a quad.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, perfect, Esme. I'm so glad to hear that you have a bunch of friends. Okay, my last question for you. What city are you most excited to travel to for an NWSL game?
Oh, that's such a good question. I feel like everyone keeps saying that I've come at the right time because we've got trips to San Diego, LA, Orlando, and everyone says those two California trips, the atmospheres are amazing. So I feel like I'm excited for those two.
Oh my gosh, and a perfect opportunity to get In-N-Out.
Yeah, you're so right. Post-game burger. I love the
I
sound of that.
know. That sounds really good. Okay, Esme, I am so happy that we got this chance to have you on the show. I still can't get over your maturity and experience at your age about the game and about wanting to improve and grow into a better player. It's like already, it just shows me such signs that you're going to get everything you want out of your career. So I'm so excited to watch you and cheer you on, to see you continue to thrive with the spirit, and no matter where you are, and to see you just like reaching for more and more and challenging yourself in this new way by traveling and coming to a new place. I'm really, really proud of you, and I'm excited to watch you. So
Aw.
thank you for joining us, and good luck with the spirit.
Oh, thanks so much, Scram.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I've loved it. I feel honoured, actually. Now, I've listened to a good few episodes over the time, and I'm so privileged to be able to have one of my own. Like, wow.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm really glad that we could have you.
I was telling my teammates, they were asking, like, because we went on a walk this afternoon to Great Falls. I don't know if you've been there, but it's like loads of big waterfalls.
Okay.
And I was like, girls, I've got to be back by 4:30, no later. So they were asking why I had this cut off, because I've literally got no plans while I'm here.
You're like, does Esme have a friend now that we don't know about?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm going on Sam Muse's podcast, and they were like, wow, that's so fun. So you're a big,
I'm trying,
big gift
Esme.
to be on there, Sam. Honestly.
I am trying. Thanks to you for coming on. We'll be watching you play with the spirit. I can't wait.
Thank you very much.
Esme is truly the sweetest. I just love her so much, and I'm so excited that she's here playing in the US. I can't wait to watch the spirit play with her out there. This weekend, some Women's Super League teams are playing NWSL teams, including that Arsenal Spirit game that we mentioned with Esme. That game is on Sunday, August 18th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's on DAZN. We'll be covering the game, so you can also follow along with us at Women's Game MIB on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. Keep your eyes peeled for tons of new content next week. Good vibes, a new Friendlies episode, and hopefully some additional content from New York. We are also recording with some incredible guests, so you aren't going to want to miss anything that we have coming up. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you soon.